The Botcast. What was impossible is now possible. Don't resist it, embrace it. Okay, welcome everybody back to the Botcast. My name is Dr. Andrew Timms. I am one of the hosts, but one of the brains behind Operation, and my co-host is Daniel Lyon. I didn't call you a doctor this time, Daniel. So Daniel, how are you? Hey, buddy.
Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Wicked.
Always good.
We have a fantastic episode today, and this is really going to more highlight the critical importance of this. We understand that, the bots and people understanding bots is a very brand new concept to most people, but this episode is really going to highlight the critical power, how some of the most powerhouse companies on the face of the planet are going in this direction. There's particular focus on Microsoft and what Microsoft is saying about this. But yeah, Facebook, Microsoft, all those big boys are going in this direction. So let's jump straight in, Daniel, and talk about what is Microsoft saying about bots and why they're sort of going in this direction.
Yeah, so we know that Microsoft and IBM, like bots and AI, have been the focus of everything when it comes to online for the last decade at least. With even in the sense that even Hollywood is going down that path with all these famous movies like iRobot with Will Smith and what have you, where we're looking at it. But it's just, I guess it's just human fascination that there's just this dichotomy between this blending of, on one hand, we see bots taking over the world and everyone's going, oh, but we'll lose our jobs and this and that, and maybe there'll be an uprising like what happens in that movie. And then on the other hand, there's just that weird fascination that we just love playing with toys and gadgets. We love being able to make things happen because instead of bots taking over the world, we're just inspired by Star Wars and this whole idea that, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have our own little R2-D2 or something that goes around and saves the day when we need him to, or one of those goofy ones like C-3PO that's just fun to have around because he makes you laugh.
I just want one to clean the house, buddy.
Sorry?
I just want one to clean the house.
That's it. And I mean, look, even my son was looking at the Husqvarna magazine the other day about this automatic lawnmower that runs off the GPS so that it knows where it's mowed and where it hasn't, and it goes around the yard mowing it simply to just make things easier, like you said, because you don't want to be cleaning the house. You want to have a robot to do it. And my son didn't want to mow the lawns. He wanted a robot to do it for him. So there's that fascination with automation and being able to sit back and just sit on the porch in the rocking chair watching someone else do all the work for us. And you kind of feel bad about making them do that, so we get a robot and you don't have to feel bad because they're not really human.
Yeah,
or are they? So there's been this fascination about that. And of course, as we see the future coming, Microsoft, who undoubtedly is the biggest. People say, well, there's a debate. Is it Microsoft? Is it Apple? Well, really, it is Microsoft. I'm an Apple man. I use Apple. I love Apple. But at the end of the day, we do have to recognize that Microsoft does own the world, so to say, that Microsoft is in every home. Microsoft is everywhere, that most people do use Microsoft simply just because they did the standard thing of sell cheap and sell lots of it. And whether it was perfect or not, they got in there first. And to the point that when Apple did come along back in the heyday, Apple and Microsoft actually worked together. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates did create an alliance back in the early days, back in I think it was early 90s, whatever, where they worked together on projects simply because even Steve Jobs recognized the size and the power of of Microsoft, while Bill Gates also recognized the intelligence and the technology of what Apple was doing at the time. So we do have to recognize that Microsoft's big. And when Facebook has built a bot and Microsoft starts working on bots, and you get companies like IBM building their Wilson bot, whether it was successful or not, whether you've got Microsoft and you can say, well, Microsoft Homes or Cortana or whatever they're going to call the latest one, whether it has proven to be successful or not, the fact that they're moving in that direction and already playing in it just instantly tells us that if this is where the big boys are going, then this is where the world's going, because they do control the world. It's the chicken or the egg. Do they go there because everyone wants it, or does everyone go there because they put it there first?
Yeah.
We don't really have the answer, but all we know is that Facebook has got a bot, and they're pushing the bots, promoting the bots, and using their own bots. Google is playing with AI and always working with that. Apple has built Siri into your iPhone so that now you can ask Siri to do it for you. You just speak and the phone will do the work. You don't have to use your fingers anymore to push the buttons. It will give you the responses. And really, Siri is just a bot. It's not a Facebook bot. It's a iPhone bot in that sense. And with Microsoft using Cortana, IBM doing Wilson, there's all of these different aspects where you've got these big companies doing it that we've got to understand that early adopters are going to be the companies of the future.
Yeah. 100%. It's like you look at any industry. Like it's so hard. Probably the biggest one and the most recognised one, is Coca-Cola. There have been thousands of other beverage companies. Even Pepsi has got big, but they got nowhere in the comparison to the size of Coca-Cola, purely for they were there first. And they've dominated the market for long enough.
Right.
It's just unbelievably difficult to kick off the number one off that perch.
Yeah, exactly. And it's someone said to us, why do you call it a bot? Well, we call it a bot because the first person did. And that's the reality. Like you say, it's Coke. And Coke has become synonymous with, like, people say, oh, just give me a Coke. And it might be, well, it's actually home brand. But they're like, oh, yeah, but, I mean, it's a Coke.
Coke is
in the same way that, we've instantly said, oh, Google it. Like, well, maybe you use Bing, maybe you use Yahoo, maybe you use DuckDuckGo or any one of these. Asta Vista, if anyone remembers that from the late 90s, early Asta Vista. But there's so many of them, but because Google got in early, built big, they're done. Amazon, like all of these household names in all these different industries are there because, one, they got in first and they were able to scale because they got the factor in that everyone started using them before the competitors come along. And then when the competitors do come along, there is a lot of people that will simply still keep going to you, whether you're better or not, just because of it's habit, it's ingrained. They've just gotten into the habit of, I go to you because I always went to you. There is another guy down the road now, but I still just go to you. And it takes a while for the new guy to take over if he is better, simply because they've got the volume and numbers. And then secondly, there's just the other aspect of loyalty and what have you too. And your name becomes organic because people will just instantly start using it even in place of that, just like what we have with Sharpies. Well, Sharpies aren't really Sharpies. They're a felt pen. We call it Sharpie because Sharpie built their brand around it. Yep. And you've got the same things in different ideas like that. People say, the amount of times I've heard people say a Leatherman, and I said, well, you got a Gerber. They're like, oh, yeah, but I mean, it's a Leatherman.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, it's like a Hoover. Like it's a Hoover. Like It's a vacuum cleaner, but I always call it a Hoover.
Right, exactly, just because that has become synonymous. So now when people go to shop, they instantly go to, they go get a Hoover. Or they go looking for a Hoover because they always hear Hoover, so it's just become synonymous with, well, if I'm going to go get one, I guess I get a Hoover because it's what everyone else gets. So with bots, when we've got a company like Microsoft setting the stage and looking at that, one of the key things that I love in one of their keynote speeches that they did back in San Francisco, it was around March last year, and they said that we want to build intelligence that augments human abilities and experiences, and ultimately it's not going to be about man versus machine, it's going to be about man with machines. And that's a powerful statement that, like what we said at the start, there's this dichotomy between people going, well, do we want a man versus machine world where machines are going to take over? But really what they're trying to build is a man with machine, about how we can leverage that automation and have the bot that is doing the work for us. And in the same physical sense, the robot mowing the lawns or cleaning the house, we've got the automated bot managing our customer service, delivering content, keeping our customers updated, doing all of this work. And as more and more people start to follow Microsoft, when Microsoft is in just about every house around the world except for mine, there's the aspect that people are going to get used to using the Microsoft bot. When people are using Siri, they get used to using it. When people use these services, it becomes second nature, so that over time, they're going to expect us to have a bot and want to use our bot. And you might say, well, how do they know how to use it? Well, because Microsoft taught them how to use it, because Microsoft led and stepped out on that foot by going there first.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think? Like, why do you think it's such a massive push for all of these companies? In the sense that, I'm sure it might be all of the above, but for example, they might be pushing this direction because I think everyone's going to go this direction. They're going to have better sales. They're going to be able to sell more stuff, make more profit. But also on the other hand, I see for these big, massive companies, if they could have 30% of all of the questions that they ever get asked satisfied by a bot, so the company or an individual person does not need to interact with them. Like, for these large companies, that is hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars worth of
That's
time.
insane. Insane, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there is those two factors. That one, yes, it's a race to the moon. They're trying to build it because they want to be first. I mean, we talk about Mac and Windows. I mean, but how many other operating systems like Linux's and self-coded things? I mean, these other aspects went out the window. Why? Because the two big guys got to the moon first. They are the ones that everyone uses. So there is definitely that aspect that they're all pushing in this direction because they're all trying to be first to make sure that they get their fair share of market capitalism so that they don't become the Nokia of last decade or the BlackBerry or the Motorola's. Like, they're just, I mean, Motorola was huge. It was the mobile phone in the Matrix and became like the cool phone to have, that little flip out phone.
Yeah.
But now who's using a Motorola now? I mean, like, they've just disappeared because they missed the game. They were so focused on spitting out what they did do well, which was those little flip out phones, that they didn't get into the smartphone early enough and adopt that to the point. Yeah, and so because they were stuck doing what they did well and what they got famous for, they missed the boat, and so their ship no longer sails. And I guess there's definitely that aspect that they want to shoot for the moon and get there first, make sure that they've got a future and they're not getting left behind in what was working today but doesn't necessarily work in tomorrow's economy. But secondly, like you say, just the absolute understanding that with the bot, 30, 50%, whatever it is, even like if you've got 1 million questions a day and you can have a bot even just answer 10%, that's 100,000 questions a day getting automated now.
Yeah.
That alone is worth it. So there's really no number that's too small to say we would do it simply because of the benefit that the company gets out of it themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like what Tony Robbins and all those guys say, like, it's innovation. Like, if you're a company that's not innovating, constantly innovating, you are literally going to be left behind. You look at the largest companies of 10, 20 years ago, the high percentage of those you don't even necessarily hear about anymore. Because they no longer innovated. They just got stuck in what they were doing and they just didn't continue to innovate.
Exactly. And that's it. And I can't exactly remember the name. There's this famous quote, and I remember the gist of it, but it's that whole aspect of the learners of today are fully equipped for a world that will not exist tomorrow.
Yeah.
And along that lines, and that's the companies that are not innovating, whether they initially set out because they wanted to have a bot or not, the companies that are not investing in bots and AI right now are the companies that are going to be fully equipped and doing well in a world that no longer exists tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is a perfect place to finish. And we've kept on time this time. Woo!
Yeah, that's it. Success.
Yes. We are innovating. There you go. See, we are innovating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so thanks everybody. We greatly appreciate you coming on. I hope you got a huge amount of value from this. You hope you understand really how critical bots will be for the future, even though they are in their infancy right now. So thanks again for jumping on. Greatly appreciate if you could jump on iTunes, rate, review. The more we get, the bigger impact we can have and the more people we can help. So thanks, Daniel, for jumping on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for listening. If you value your life, you won't keep this a secret. Subscribe, rate, and review, or we will find you.